Hello, my name is Dimitri. Today I'm going to show you a brief hands-on demonstration of a software called Global Office Find and Replace. This software allows you to perform multiple find and replace operations on multiple Microsoft Office documents stored on your computer in one shot without having to open them one at a time. In this video, we're going to concentrate on the metadata part of the software. The software also does other things like update your text and images, and I welcome you to visit our website at www.officefindreplace.com to view those tutorials. In this one, we're going to talk about the metadata. What is Microsoft metadata? Metadata is information stored in your Microsoft Office documents that travel with the document. This information has many different pieces to it and includes things like author of the document, the company, last time the user updated the document, the dates. It can also include things like track changes in the document and much more. I'm going to show you how you can manage all of this information in one place, not just for one document, but for many documents on your computer, or for all documents on your computer for that matter. First, let us review what metadata looks like in the Microsoft Office document. So let's review where the metadata is stored in Microsoft Office documents such as Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and Visio. I'm just going to show you a Word document. I've prepared this document to demonstrate where the metadata is stored. So to see the metadata in your document, you'll have to go to File and then click on the Info tab on the left-hand side. And you will see the metadata under the Properties section in the middle of this screen here. So I've prepared, this is a prepared document. I have, you have Manager, you have Author here, you have last time that the user modified their user will be here. You can also see further properties of this document by clicking on the drop down under Properties and going to Advanced Properties. And this brings up this tabbed box where you can go through and see all the different properties of the Word document or Excel or PowerPoint or Visio, and you can manage them here. It's not terrible, but it's fine for if you just have one document, but it's highly inconvenient if, let's say, you have 100 documents or 1,000 documents. You just couldn't do it one at a time like this. So this is where our software will help you do that. So let's see how it works. Our software will allow you to do several things, and I'm going to show you a hands-on demonstration in just a second, but bear with me just to explain. It can erase or remove the metadata. So very simply put, if this data travels with the document, what that means is if you email a document to someone, all of your metadata is visible to them. So for example, the person that created the document, the company name, you may not want that. You may want to prefer to be anonymous. And certainly Microsoft allows you to do that for one document easy enough. But if you have many, it's a little bit inconvenient. You can also report and review all the metadata that's on your computer. So we will allow you to load all the metadata from all the documents on your computer and, for example, export them to CSV and also perform some reporting operations, which I will show you in just a little while. You can also update the document properties. You can set them to whatever you want. You can change all of your company names, authors, track changes, data in one shot. Very convenient and sometimes indispensable. You do not need to have the Microsoft Office installed on your computer for our software to work. It works with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Visio, 2003, 2007, 2010, 2013, 2016, and up, and it will continue to work for future releases of Microsoft products. You can download the software and try it yourself for free by going to www.officefindreplace.com. If you do have questions, you can email us to exisllc@gmail.com. So now, let me give you a hands-on demonstration of how to update metadata and document properties in multiple Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Visio documents on your computer. Let's get started. I've prepared an example for you. In this folder on my computer, I have 12 documents. It's a mixture of Word, Excel, Visio, and PowerPoint documents. If I open up, for example, the document properties test Word document, I can show you what it has inside of it in terms of what the properties that I've put into it. If I go into File, as we've seen earlier, go into Info, I have the properties in this document set to author Roadrunner and modified by Roadrunner. And if I show all properties, the company is set to Acme Inc. Now let's see how we can use Global Office Find and Replace to quickly update all the metadata, including things like author and company. So I'm going to, let's say, select Word documents and Excel documents for this first demonstration. It works the same way for all documents such as Visio and PowerPoint, but for brevity, let's just use those two file document types. You need to add a folder, of course, where the documents are located, and they are located here in my input directory. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Find Replace Metadata button that's in step 3. When you open the Metadata Center, the very first tab here is Quick Update. What this tab does for you, it helps you immediately change whatever values you have to whatever values you want. It's not going to say what values I want to change. This is just a blanket replace. It's going to force those values into your documents. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to change the company in my documents to Exis. And the author of this is going to be, let's say, Leghorn, Foghorn. And I'm going to change the last modified by also to Leghorn, Foghorn. I can of course put in any value I want in here. It doesn't matter what they were. They will just be force replaced by these values. Now I could have gone through and filled in the rest of these fields, but I'm not going to do this. This first tab is just strictly so you can quickly update those values if you'd want to do nothing else with this software. Just that will save you a lot of time. There's a lot of other things that we can do, and we'll go through it in the next few minutes, but just right here, very easy, quick update, put in whatever values you want, hit save and close, select the destination. I already have the destination selected, and I'm going to go ahead and perform substitutions and extractions at the very bottom after I've selected my output folder. The program will complete very quickly. Our software is very fast at this. And then you can go ahead and open the result folder, and you'll be able to see the results here. And if I open the very first document, properties test 1, and you will see that the properties have changed in this document to what we expected to be company and author modified. Here's my Leghorn Foghorn, and if I show all properties, I'll see that the company has been changed to Exis. Now I'll show you that it also worked the same for the Excel documents that we selected in step 2. So it's going to open Excel, and we're going to go ahead and go to File, Info, Leghorn Foghorn, Show All Properties, and Exis. I hope you believe me that all the other Word and Excel documents were changed as well. So now let's continue to show you how you can do a little bit more complex operations of metadata on these documents. Back in the Metadata Center, I'm going to go ahead and use the Clear button in the bottom right hand corner to erase any changes that I've made in this screen, so we can start from the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the Find Replace Metadata. Now I know that the author is set to Roadrunner in my Word documents, so by default an empty entry is created for you to start typing something into it, and by default it is set to author creator, so I don't need to change it for this example. But you can of course find any property in your documents and replace it with something else. So there are a number of things here. I invite you to take a look at what's available. You can change the track changes author, for instance, which is very useful. You can change a number of different things like templates, dates, etc. But we're just going to, and the company of course, but we're just going to work with the author creator. Now I know that the author who created the Word document is Roadrunner, which is 2 words, and I could of course type in Roadrunner in here and replace it with something else like Exis, for instance. But to demonstrate the real functionality of this, you could just type in road, and what that means is that any author that has the word road in it will be replaced with whatever you put into text and replace. So let's try that. I'm just going to put in road instead of roadrunner, and I'm going to replace it with exist. What the software will do is find any occurrence of the text in the text to find, in this case road, and replace the final result with text to replace. Let's see how this works. So I'm going to go ahead again and click save and close. The destination is already selected, and I'm going to go ahead and click the perform substitutions button. When I open the folder, I will have a bunch of documents here, and we're working currently with the Word document, so I'm going to go ahead expand that a little bit. So here are my document tests that I'm working with. Oops, let me try that again. And here we go. Here's the document. I'm going to go and look at the properties now. File info. So what do we got? So I replaced the word road with exist. Now I didn't replace the whole value, obviously. I replaced just what I found, but you see what I'm talking about. You can find and replace any value with any other value. So I found the word road in my author and replaced it with exist. So what that means is you can replace, for example, the first name or the last name in your author if you had to, or any such combination of text is possible. Okay, let's try something else. I want to point out a couple of other items on this screen. First of all, you can export all of these changes that you've made in this screen into CSV template. What this will allow you to do is maintain all your changes in an Excel spreadsheet and then just upload them into this screen using the load from Excel or CSV template. This is very convenient if you just want to keep all your changes, just like with the text substitution, in an Excel spreadsheet instead of having to enter them in here. The other thing to point out is, of course, here is this button to add another one. You can add as many operations here as you want. You can create, basically for all intents and purposes unlimited. I believe the limit is 500 at this time. These couple of switches here, case and sensitive, so they're turned on by default, so that it doesn't matter what the case of the text to find is, it'll just find any word that matches the word road in here. You can click on whole word must match, and in other words, the whole value in the author must match this, so this wouldn't work if we selected it for this, and Roadrunner would not match road, so it would not find this text. This is useful when you just want to zero in on a specific value. You also have the ability to use wildcards and regular expressions. What we recommend you do is read our documentation. This is very easy to use. It's very similar to what we just did with find and replace, except you can use wildcards. So you can do things like find all values that match a certain parameter. It's a little bit more complicated and not within the scope of this video. But we have this very helpful help button here. If you click on the help button, it'll bring up this help screen, and you can read about it here. It'll tell you everything you need to know. If you still have a problem with that, please email us. We'll help you get started with the regular expressions or wildcards. Now, let us move on to the next set of demonstrations. Now, let's review how you can report on the metadata that is in your Microsoft Office documents stored on your computer in one convenient location using Global Office Find and Replace software. Let's talk about reporting a little bit. So again, I've selected Excel, Word. Let's add also Visio, and let's add PowerPoint to this. So I have 12 documents selected. Let's see if we can figure out how to report the metadata in all 12 documents at once. And there are several methods for doing that. So once again, I'm going to click on Find Replace Metadata. And the software, what it does is when it loads is it immediately goes through every file that you've selected and reads the metadata and puts it into memory somewhere. And now we can do some things with that data that's already loaded into the software. So the simplest possible thing you can do is just go ahead and click Export Metadata to CSV. Really, really easy. One click, and we'll select some place to put it into. I'm going to go ahead and select my output directory, and I'm going to give it some name. I'm going to say exist metadata, and I'm going to click save. The software will export the entire data set and automatically open Excel if you have it installed on your computer. So let's take a look at what this looks like. So here's all the metadata that's stored in every document that you selected in step 1 on your computer. This is extremely convenient. You can review all of your documents and all of the metadata that's stored on them. So for example, here is my first document, .test.doc1. In here I have, of course, the company, the last modified, the dates, and the template, of course, which is, by the way, also updatable using our software. That sometimes becomes very useful. The manager, the title, all of this stuff is exported, and it's here for every document that you selected. So let's take a look at something else now. Back in the Metadata Center screen, I am in the By Microsoft Office Document tab. Here you will see all the documents that you selected in step 1. In this case I have Word and Excel documents, but it could be, of course, Visio and PowerPoint if you wanted to. And this little tab is a reporting/update tab and works in 2 different ways. You can see the metadata that's in every document right here. You don't need to export it to CSV or anything. You can just say, show me the metadata for this Word document, and you'll be able to see it. It's very convenient. It's all in one place. So you have an entire list of all the documents on your computer potentially, and you can go in here and see what the metadata is in every document. This is really, really convenient. The other thing you can do here is, if I go, let's say, into the first one, you can update any of them. It'll automatically create the correct find, replace, update metadata entry for you. So let's say I wanted to update the company in this document, which right now is Acme Inc. I can click this update button, and very conveniently it will create the necessary entry for me in the find, replace, update metadata tab. All I now have to do is put in the value that I want to replace with. So I'm just going to say exists. And this continues to work just like what we've seen in the update demonstration. So this is a very convenient way for you to quickly do this. Okay, so the next tab, By Microsoft Office Document Property, looks at it the other way. In the By Microsoft Office document, you see all your documents and review their metadata in the list of documents. The second tab here is the other way around. See all the entries in the metadata properties on your computer and see which documents they appear in. So, for example, I have company Acme Inc. here that appears in 6 documents, and I can see which documents it's located in. So here it is. I see that it's in all 6 of the documents that I've selected on my computer, which is fantastic, right? So you can find some value which is stored in all of the documents, which is very useful. It is a reporting tool and a facility for you to quickly find what is on your computer in various different ways. And again, you can do the same thing. So I'm going to update the manager document property. I can click on the update button next to it, and once again it will create an entry in the find, replace, update metadata tab. So you at this point fill in what you want and save and close, and continue to step 4 and perform substitutions or extractions to update those values. So this is very convenient. These tabs, tab number 2 and 3, By Microsoft Document Property and Document file, is extremely useful. You can look at it either from the perspective of looking at all the different documents and seeing what's in them, or by all the properties that in them and seeing what documents they appear in. This is really, really useful if you need to review what you have on your computer quickly and take control of it. This will help you do that. Now let me show you how you can entirely erase all or some of the metadata in your Microsoft Office documents stored on your computer, such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Visio. Finally, let us see how we can erase the metadata from my Microsoft Office documents, such as Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and Visio. Sometimes you just need to erase some things. So let's do that. I'm going to go back into the Metadata Center with all of my documents selected. In this case, it's Excel and Word, but it can be any other type of document, Microsoft Office document. And there's a very handy button right at the top of the screen that says erase metadata. It also has its own dedicated help if you want to read about it. If you click on this, it'll give you some explanation about certain things that it does. But I'm going to show you right now. If you click on this button, what it will do is it will create all the necessary entries to erase the metadata using the find replace operation. It gives you a little message, and I welcome you to read that, but let's go over what it does. It'll insert regular expressions that will erase the data. You do not need to do anything else at this point. It has created all the necessary entries in this step to erase those values. Now, what you want to do here at this point is review all of them. So let's say you don't really want to erase category. You can simply delete it out of here. But what it will do is it will use a regular expression. Regular expression turns the background green when you use it. And if you click on the option next to it, you'll see that the regular expression is selected. And dot star means any value, so anything. And text to replace, you're going to leave blank. Now, you could also put a value in here if you really want to, but if you leave it blank, it'll just erase that value. So it works just like a find and replace operation, except it creates the necessary entries for you in here to erase the metadata that's located in these specific properties in this list. Now, you may want to be tempted, as a side note, to go into quick update and use this, but you cannot. Blank here means do nothing. So this quick update tab is really to replace specific values. It's not meant to erase anything. You really need to use this erase metadata functionality to do so. So let's try it, right? So I've created all the entries. Now I'm going to go ahead and save and close. I've already selected the output or in the previous demonstration, and I'm going to go ahead to perform substitutions or extractions, which will erase the metadata. And if I go into the result folder, and I'll open the first document just to show you. Let's open an Excel document just for the hell of it. And let's review the metadata that we've just erased. So here is my document. I'm going to go to File, Info, and you can see that all the metadata is gone here. There is nothing here whatsoever. I can go into the advanced properties, into the little text boxes here, and you can see that all the metadata is gone. I used the Global Office Find and Replace functionality to remove all the metadata located in all the documents that I've selected. In this case, 3 Word and 3 Excel documents, but of course you can do your entire computer this way and automatically wipe out any of the metadata that's in there before you send it out to an external party, for example, or just to take control of what's located in there if you don't want to do it one at a time. This will allow you to erase, update all the data in those documents without having to open them one at a time. That's the power of this software. Thank you for watching my brief presentation about the Global Office Find and Replace software. I hope I was able to show you how easy it is to use and how convenient it is for you to manage all of your metadata properties in all of the Microsoft Office documents stored on your computer. If you have any questions, please send us an email to exisllc@gmail.com. It's on this screen. You can also go to download the software and try it for yourself. It's free to try to www.officefindreplace.com. Thank you for watching.